What did you learn in your first job after college that is still relevant today?
Strangely enough, I learned how not to manage people. My first job out of college, I had a boss who believed it was appropriate to berate people to get the most out of them. And I remember, this is a true story, I actually sat down with her. We used to have these sort of monthly career updates, and she literally said to me, "You have no talent," quote unquote. And I went, "None?" And she said, "None," and the good news was I thought that was funny. Because you can't have none. Like if you told me I only could do one thing, that actually probably would have hurt more. But nothing, nothing. And so I really paid attention as to how she managed, and the rest of my career did the complete opposite. So, yeah.
Give me an example.
I think that pointing out people's strengths is a lot better than telling them they have no talent. Also, she had this belief that if you don't look harried and insane, then you're not working hard. So I remember pretending that I was like stressed out, because if I sauntered down the hallway and said hi to people, she thought I was doing nothing.
Right.
So I started pretending. It's like, I can't talk. And that way she thought I was very busy and she left me alone. Yeah, honesty in management, treating people with respect, being honest about what they can and can't do, and committing yourself to helping people, not hurting people or pushing them down, has been more effective for me.
Sometimes at work, it's not what's happening at work for a lot of stressed out managers, especially. It's what's happening outside of work. How do you try to figure out where the sources of the issue, maybe to cut past some of the challenges you face communicating?
When I was entry level, having empathy for my boss didn't factor in, not knowing anything about sort of my place in the company, et cetera. But as I've grown up, I realized that the only motivation for any kind of confrontation, whether you're the one who's confronting someone because you feel that they have done something wrong, or whether you're confronting them because you feel that you've been wronged, the only motivation is empathy. And so even if someone is coming down on me hard or being unreasonable or being, I'm not perfect at it, but I've worked really hard to approach it with confronting them that they've hurt me or that I feel wronged, but immediately go into considering that maybe there's something that's bothering them. And that has proved to be really helpful. And we do it in life. I mean, for example, somebody sitting next to you on the subway is, slouched back, their legs open, and your immediate sort of reaction is to think, what an ass, But the idea of practicing and say, well, maybe he had a hard day yesterday, and he's exhausted and he just doesn't want to deal, Yeah. Maybe he doesn't want to talk to people, Right. And so to really just sort of have empathy for the world around you, it's kind of powerful, and people respond to you a lot better as well, because basically everybody wants to feel safe. And so if you have empathy, you give that to people, up or down the chain of command. I mean, we as employees want to feel safe, and it is our boss's responsibility to give us that. But at the same time, bosses want to feel safe. They don't want to feel that there's insurrection, that's brewing, and for us to let them know that we've got their back as much as we want them to let us know that they have ours is equally as important. And I believe there is responsibility of a manager, but there's a responsibility of an employee as well.
That's right.
It's like the kids have to do chores at home. It's the kind of same thing. It's like it takes all of us.
Yeah.
The hierarchy doesn't mean that only the guys above are the ones with responsibility. We all have to contribute.